Good morning, Wildcats. Good morning, Wolves. Willowbrook, Wescott, District 30. It's great to be with you this morning. It is Veterans Day, November 11th, and we are gathered here today as members of a proud and grateful nation. The sacrifices and service of our military veterans provide us with the peace and freedoms that we enjoy today. We owe our veterans thanks and a deep respect. Wescott students and members of our Willowbrook Spirit Committee will be assisting us with today's assembly. You will also hear our talented orchestra students and some singers from Wescott. But at this time, I would like to introduce our two honored guests. Our first guest is U.S. Marine Corps veteran, Lance Corporal James Specker. Mr. Specker had active service from 1993 to 1997. He was part of a peacekeeping mission in the country of Bosnia. He is the former president of District 219 School Board, a father, and a close personal friend of our first grade teacher, Miss Amy Newman. Our other veteran guest today is U.S. Army veteran, First Lieutenant Michael Beslow. He was part of Operation Iraqi Freedom from 2007 to 2008 and a Medical Service Corps helicopter pilot. He's a Willowbrook graduate and a father to a first grade student, Lucas Beslow. Now, I bring to the microphone Ethan Sidoti to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have some members of the Willowbrook Spirit Committee and some Wescott students that are here to ask some questions of our veteran speaker, Lance Corporal James Specker.
Hello, Mr. Specker. What is Veterans Day?
Thank you for that question. Quite simply, Veterans Day is a federal holiday with the purpose of honoring our nation's service members, past and present. For me personally, it's just a yearly reminder of the great men and women that I served with and the friendships that I built from people all over the world, which really helped shape the rest of my life.
Why did you join the U.S. Marine Corps?
That is a great question. For me, coming out of high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, but I knew I needed to do something. I didn't want to enroll in college and figure it out on the fly. So I explored the idea of enlisting in our nation's military. I chose the Marines specifically because I had a couple of friends who had already enlisted, and in my opinion, our uniforms are so much more good looking than the rest of the branches. So that's a joke, kind of. Thank you for the question.
Tell us about boot camp.
Wow, thank you, Aiden. I've done a lot of difficult things in my life, but boot camp has to be one of the most difficult. 3.5 months, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week training. Less we're sleeping, of course. It was lonely. It was mentally and physically taxing. It was the best time of my life. I have 2 wonderful daughters. I have a great wife. I've been an elected official, but boot camp, hands down, has to be, for me personally, my greatest accomplishment. Thank you.
Okay, Lincoln, question?
Tell us about your peacekeeping mission in Bosnia.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. For me, it really was a first step in how I became, an effective leader. While deployed over there, I was the squad leader for a TRAP team, which is the tactical recovery of aircraft and personnel. Quite simply, we were responsible for going in and finding people when they were lost. And, you know, you can only imagine in that type of environment, it takes a lot of thought, it takes a lot of bravery, it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of integrity, and most importantly, it takes effective communication to bring that group of people together, work as one in that type of environment. So, but, you know, it was also just really nice to know that, you know, whatever and however small it was, that, you know, we came together and I played a role in a mission that our leaders, our nation's leaders, our global leaders through NATO and through the US military, you know, and trying to, you know, bring peace to a region. So for me, that's something that I take a lot of pride in.
How did your experience as a military veteran help shape your life?
How much time do I have? No, there are many aspects of my experience that help shape who I am today. But I just want to give a little background. You know, prior to enlisting, me and my family, we didn't travel outside of the north side of Chicago. You know, the furthest I ever been before I was 16 is Six Flags in Gurnee. So, you know, my perspective on things was very limited. You know, I only knew what I saw. But the most important thing I think I take away from my military experience is, you know, I spent a significant part of my life with people from all over this country, urban, suburban, rural, farmers, some swamp folks, you know, and you know, you really, if you take advantage of the environment you're in, you know, like I did, and you just sit down and listen to people and learn from them, learn what makes them sad, learn what makes them happy, learn what makes them mad. You know, I always draw on that experience, and I think it really developed me into, you know, an informed decision maker. You know, which really plays a heavy role in not only my professional life, but, you know, my personal life, because I do apply that concept to, you know, all aspects of everything I do. And that's, you know, really taking into consideration other people's perspectives and not making decisions without the data. So thank you for that question.
Thank you, Mr. Specker. I'd like to take a moment to also thank you for your service. It is very much appreciated. My name is Mrs. Latek. I'm a first grade teacher at Wescott School. And I also am a volunteer for Honor Flight Chicago. So I'm here to tell everybody a little bit about Honor Flight Chicago. And I know many of our students at Willowbrook and Wescott have created cards for our veterans through Honor Flight. Honor Flight was created to thank and inspire and build awareness and appreciation of all veterans. We use donations to help send veterans to Washington, D.C. for a day of honor for their service. Over the last few years, Honor Flight has expanded their volunteer groups. We now have a committee called Operation Education, which is a team of teachers from the Chicago area. And I am a proud member of that committee. And we have most recently reached out and we started something called Operation Climb, which is a committee of teenagers, all from the Chicagoland area, who are also helping to thank and inspire and build an awareness for all of our veterans. And my daughter, Janie, is a member of that committee. I would like to say that over the last few years, Wescott School has been able to send at least 5 veterans to Washington through donations through their Square One art program. So not only those letters that Willowbrook and Wescott have created, but those donations have meant a lot to Honor Flight. And boys and girls, it's important that we remember that we not only thank our veterans today on Veterans Day, but every day. Today is just a good day to build an awareness, but when we see veterans and we see them proudly wearing their hats, it's a very nice thing to do, is to thank them for their service. One of my first graders, Lucas Beslow, has interviewed his dad, and we are going to watch that video right now.
What else did you do in the
In the Army, everybody is a soldier first. And so when you train to be a soldier. You learn to use different You learn many different types of skills, including that is your job, and then how to support others. You learn leadership and how to work well with other people. And one of the most important things in the Army is to be able to be good to other people, to help other people.
What's it like being a pilot?
In the Army, my military occupational specialty, or MOS, I began as everybody has a number, everybody has a job in the Army, and every job has a number. And when I began, my job number was 15 Alpha, which is 15A, and that is essentially a aviation officer. And I learned to fly OH-58 Blackhawks. And then when I went to what's called an assault unit, where I learned to fly UH-60 Blackhawks. And an assault unit is not what it sounds. It's assaulting a target. So you carry troops to an objective, and those troops assault it and accomplished a mission. And then after I was an assault pilot, I became a medevac pilot. And a medevac aircraft is essentially an air ambulance in the military. And so that's what I did overseas in Iraq. Is I was an air ambulance pilot. So if anybody got hurt, whether it was an American soldier, an Iraqi soldier, an Iraqi citizen, a contractor, anybody who got hurt who needed help could call the US, and we pick them up in the helicopter and take them to the hospital, like any ambulance would. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, I think that's it.
All right, thank you so much.
How can you thank a veteran? Here are some ways you can thank a veteran. 1, donate to a charity that supports our brave veterans. 2, fly the American flag. 3, ask a family member or friend about their service in our military. 4, write a letter or card and send it to a military installation. Even small acts of kindness are appreciated. 5, visit a VA hospital. 6, if you see a military serviceman or woman in public, thank them. You can walk up to them and say, "Thank you for your service." 7, support Honor Flight Chicago that provides travel for veterans to Washington, D.C.
Thank you, Caroline. Now please enjoy the song "Thank You, Soldiers," written by Michael and Angela Souders. The message of this song is patriotism and gratitude to all those who have served to ensure our freedom.
Protecting shore to shore in the
Mission Never Forget. Send birthday cards to veterans throughout the year. I would love to have District 30 participate in Mission Never Forget. Here is how you can help. Step 1, sign up for a month on the Google Doc. 2, when your month comes up, I will send you a list of names and addresses. 3, have your students make cards. 4, mail the cards near the date of the celebration.
Thank you, Layla. That's a great way to celebrate our veterans. And now we'll hear about our America the Beautiful performance from our orchestra.
We will now hear from our 4th and 5th grade orchestra students performing America the Beautiful. This song was written 100 years ago. It celebrates our very freedom and recognizes the men and women who keep us safe, like our military veterans, our police officers, firefighters, teachers, nurses, doctors, all who serve.
All right, thank you.
Wescott, Willowbrook, this brings us to the close of our Veterans Day Assembly. A very special thanks to Lance Corporal James Specker. Thank you, Michael Beslow, Sharon Latek, Dr. Chris Brown, our students from the Willowbrook Spirit Committee, our Wescott students. Thank you all for coming together and putting on this Veterans Day Assembly across 2 buildings with multiple people logging on. We did it. And our veterans, they deserve our deep appreciation and our thanks. Let us be inspired by the patriotism and the sacrifices of our military, what they have shown us. Let us commit ourselves to serving each other, and let us commit ourselves to serving our community. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you, Wescott. Thank you, Willowbrook.
And thank you, Dr. Carlson, for all your hard work and putting everything together. Thank you.